Some books are read. Others are survived. Crime and Punishment is one of the most famous novels ever written, yet few who own it ever reach the final page. For over a century, its title has haunted bookshelves like a challenge nobody accepts. Too long, too dark, too heavy. So it waits, unopened. But inside those pages lives one of the most gripping stories ever told. A murder, a mind unraveling, a question that refuses to die. Tonight, we open the book you were always meant to read. We walk its streets, enter its rooms, and follow one desperate man to the edge. This is the story of a crime committed in cold blood and a punishment no court could ever design. The city is Saint Petersburg. The year is 1866. Summer hangs over the streets like a fever nobody can shake. The air is thick with dust, heat, and the smell of the canals. Beauty and rot exist side by side, marble palaces above, misery below. This is a city of extremes. Wealth glitters in one district, while hunger stalks the next. Dostoevsky knew both worlds intimately. He had faced a firing squad, survived a last-second reprieve, and spent years in a Siberian prison camp. Suffering was not theory to him. He understood guilt from the inside. He understood how a mind can betray itself. And he poured all of it into one unforgettable character. His name is Rodion Raskolnikov, a former student, brilliant, proud, and utterly broke. He has abandoned his studies and nearly everything else. He lives in a cramped attic room barely larger than a coffin. The ceiling presses down, the walls close in. His thoughts have nowhere to go. Poverty has stripped him bare. His clothes are rags. His meals are rare. Yet something worse than hunger is eating at him. An idea has taken root in his mind. A dangerous, seductive idea that grows louder with every sleepless night in that suffocating little room. He begins to believe that some people stand above ordinary morality, that a rare few are permitted to cross lines the rest of us cannot. Napoleon, he thinks, shed oceans of blood and became a hero. So perhaps greatness requires the courage to do what others fear. The question consumes him. Is he one of these extraordinary men? Or is he just another trembling creature, afraid of his own shadow? To answer it, he needs a test. Something monstrous. Something that would prove, once and for all, which kind of man he truly is. And so the idea curdles into a plan. A plan involving a single life he has already decided is worth less than nothing. There is a woman he visits, an old pawnbroker named Alyona Ivanovna, cruel, greedy, and feared throughout the district. She lends money to the desperate and takes everything they own in return. To Raskolnikov, she is not a person. She is a principle. He convinces himself that killing her would be no crime at all, that her death would free dozens of victims from her grip. With her hoarded money, he tells himself, he could do enormous good. Finish his education, save his family, serve humanity itself. One worthless life, he reasons, weighed against countless better ones. The mathematics seem simple. The logic feels almost righteous. But logic is a mask. Beneath it, something darker is moving. A hunger not for justice, but for proof of his own superiority. He rehearses the crime obsessively. He measures the distance. He learns her routine. He hides an axe loop inside his coat. Yet even as he plans, he is disgusted with himself. Half of him longs to act, the other half recoils in horror. He wanders the city in a daze, feverish and starving, arguing with the two men warring inside his own exhausted mind. He overhears a stranger in a tavern voice the exact same idea. Kill the old woman, use her money for good. He is not alone in thinking it. It feels like fate, a sign, as if the universe itself is nudging him toward the deed he cannot stop imagining. His mother writes to him, full of love and sacrifice. His sister Dunya is preparing to marry a man she does not love to save the family. Their suffering sharpens his resolve. He will not let them sell themselves. He will act. He will prove he is strong enough to change everything. Then comes the moment. He learns the pawnbroker will be alone at a precise hour that evening. The opportunity he dreaded has arrived. He tells himself he is still deciding, but his body is already moving, already sewing the axe loop, already walking toward her door. The stairs are dark and silent. His heart pounds against his ribs. Every sound is deafening. Every shadow could be a witness. He reaches her landing. He rings the bell. His hands are cold. The idea that lived only in his mind is about to become real. The old woman opens the door, suspicious as always. He offers her a fake pledge wrapped tightly to buy himself a few seconds. She turns to examine it, and in that instant, the theory ends and the horror begins. He raises the axe above her head. The blow falls, then another. The pawnbroker crumples without a sound. The thing he imagined 1,000 times is suddenly, sickeningly done. He stands frozen over the body, the axe still in his hand, the room spinning. There is no triumph, only nausea and dread. He fumbles for her keys. His fingers won't obey. He searches for the money he killed for, and the seconds stretch into agony. Then the unthinkable. Footsteps. The pawnbroker's gentle sister Lizaveta returns and sees the body. She sees him. Her mouth opens. She does not scream. She only raises her arm, helpless and confused. And Raskolnikov, in blind panic, kills her too. An innocent woman, a gentle soul who harmed no one. The one victim his cold theory never accounted for lies dead at his feet, collapsed in a single moment. He set out to kill a principal and murdered a human being instead. He grabs a few trinkets, barely any money at all, and flees. The great test is over, and he has already failed it completely. He nearly walks into visitors on the stairs. He hides. He escapes by pure luck, drenched in sweat, his mind coming apart. Somehow he reaches his room. He hides the stolen items under a torn strip of wallpaper. And then his true punishment begins. It does not come from the police. It comes from within. A fever grips him, burning through his body for days on end. He drifts in and out of delirium, tormented by dreams and terror. His body is trying to expel the thing his mind has done. The theory promised freedom. Instead, he feels a wall rising between himself and every other living soul. He is utterly, unbearably alone. He cannot bear to be looked at. He cannot bear to be touched. Guilt has become a physical force, crushing him from the inside. When he learns the police want to see him, he is certain it is over. But it is only about an unpaid debt, a coincidence. Yet in that station, overwhelmed, he faints. A tiny slip, nothing provable, but a seed of suspicion is quietly planted. His friend Razumikhin, loyal and warm, tries to care for him. Kindness only deepens his torment. He does not feel he deserves it. His mother and sister arrive in the city. Their love, once his motive, now feels like a spotlight he cannot escape. Every embrace reminds him of what he has become. He pushes them away, cruel and cold, to protect them from the truth. Into this storm steps a man named Porfiry Petrovich, the investigator assigned to the murders. Calm, clever, and endlessly patient. Porfiry never accuses. He never threatens. He simply talks, circling Raskolnikov with questions that feel like traps disguised as conversation. He has read an article Raskolnikov once wrote, an article about extraordinary men who have the right to transgress. He found it fascinating. Suddenly, Raskolnikov realizes investigator may already understand everything. Not the evidence, but the mind behind the crime. What follows is one of literature's greatest duels. Not with weapons, but with words. A cat-and-mouse game across quiet rooms. Porfiry watches every flicker of the eyes, every hesitation. He is not hunting for proof. He is waiting for the soul to break. And Raskolnikov feels himself breaking. The silence, the hints, the knowing smiles. He begins to want it to end, whatever the cost. Meanwhile, another figure enters his life. A young woman named Sonia, forced into a life of shame to feed her starving family. She is everything his theory denied. Powerless, gentle, endlessly suffering, yet somehow unbroken. Her faith survives what should have destroyed it. He is drawn to her with an intensity he cannot explain. In her poverty and pain, he sees a strength his pride never had. She lives by love and sacrifice. He lives by logic and pride. And slowly, her quiet goodness begins to dismantle everything he believed. One night, he goes to her. He watches her read from the scriptures, the story of a dead man called back to life. The words strike him like lightning. Lazarus, 4 days in the tomb, rising again. A promise that even the buried can return. He begins to understand that his real prison is not the law. It is the isolation his crime carved into his own heart. He is drowning in it. And Sonia, without knowing his secret, has become the only person who might pull him back to the surface. The pressure mounts from every side. Porfiry tightens his invisible net. Raskolnikov's family senses something is terribly wrong. Then a new danger appears. A man named Svidrigailov. Sinister, wealthy, and utterly without conscience. A vision of where cold theory leads. Svidrigailov has done monstrous things and feels nothing. He is what Raskolnikov feared becoming. A man beyond guilt, beyond redemption. And Svidrigailov, by chance, has overheard Raskolnikov's confession to Sonia through a thin wall. He now holds the secret in his hands. For a moment, it seems he will use it as a weapon. But even this hollow man is haunted by things he cannot outrun. Unable to buy the love he craves, tormented by his own emptiness, Svidrigailov meets a bleak and self-inflicted end. His fate is a mirror held up to Raskolnikov. This is the abyss at the bottom of a life without conscience, cold and utterly alone. Raskolnikov stands at a crossroads. One path leads to Svidrigailov's darkness. The other leads back toward the human race, through confession. Sonia has already told him what he must do. Go to the crossroads, bow down, kiss the earth he has defiled, and confess aloud. He resists with everything left in him. His pride screams that confession is weakness, that surrender means his whole theory was a lie. But the isolation is unbearable now. He cannot eat, cannot rest, cannot look his own family in the eyes any longer. Porfiry visits him one final time, and this time, the mask comes off. He tells Raskolnikov plainly that he knows. He offers no threats, only a strange mercy. Confess, he says, and your sentence will be lighter. More than that, you may yet be saved. Suffering, Porfiry suggests, is not only punishment. It can be a road back, a way to rejoin the world he tore himself away from. Raskolnikov leaves shattered. The choice is now entirely his. No one will drag him to justice. He must walk there himself, or not at all. He goes to Sonia. She takes a small cross and gives it to him, a symbol of the burden he must finally choose to carry. He walks out into the city, to the crossroads she described. Surrounded by strangers, he kneels down and kisses the filthy ground. The crowd laughs, thinking him drunk. But something in him has shifted. For the first time since the murders, he is moving toward the light. He walks to the police station. His legs nearly fail him. At the threshold, his courage almost breaks, and he turns away. Then he sees Sonia, standing silently nearby, having followed him. Her eyes say everything. He turns back. He goes inside. And there, at last, he says the words aloud. It was I. I killed them. The old woman and her sister. I did it. The confession is out. The secret that poisoned him from within is finally spoken into the world. The long silence is broken. He is arrested, tried, and sentenced. Because he confessed, and because of his disturbed state, the punishment is Siberia, 8 years of hard labor. The theory that made him a god above other men has delivered him to a frozen prison at the edge of the world. Sonia follows him. She sells what little she has and moves to the bleak town beside the prison, to be near him. Every day she waits. She writes letters home for the prisoners. She earns their respect through nothing but kindness and quiet devotion. At first, Raskolnikov feels nothing for her. His pride is not yet dead. He believes he is being punished only for getting caught. He still clings to the theory. He tells himself his only crime was weakness, that a truly great man would have felt no guilt at all. The other convicts sense his coldness and hate him for it. Even in prison, he holds himself apart, superior, alone. But the isolation that began with the axe still follows him. Even among 100 men, he is trapped inside himself, unreachable. Then he falls ill again. And in that sickness, he dreams a terrible dream, of a plague that turns men into raging, self-righteous gods. In the dream, everyone believes they alone hold the truth. Everyone destroys everyone. The world burns under the weight of a million little theories. He wakes and understands at last what his idea truly was. Not greatness, a sickness, the same madness that nearly consumed the whole world. The wall inside him finally cracks. And on the riverbank, in the vast Siberian spring, he sees Sonia waiting for him once more. Something breaks open in his chest. Without a word, he falls at her feet and weeps. And she understands. He has finally come back. The pride is gone. The theory is dust. What remains is a broken man reaching, for the first time, toward another human being. Their love is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. The beginning of a long, painful road toward becoming new. Dostoevsky does not promise it will be easy. 7 years of prison still stretch ahead. Redemption is not a gift. It is earned slowly. But the door is open. The man who declared himself above humanity has knelt down and rejoined it. And that, the author says, is everything. So why does this story, written over a century and a half ago, still grip us so tightly today? Because Raskolnikov's question is our question too. Do the ends justify the means? Are some people truly above the rules? Every age produces men who believe they are extraordinary, who tell themselves that their vision excuses the harm they cause. Dostoevsky saw where that idea leads, not to greatness, but to a lonely attic room and a body on the floor. He shows us that no crime stays outside, that the mind is its own courtroom, its own prison, its own relentless judge. And he shows us the only way out. Not clever arguments, not superior intellect, but confession, humility, and the courage to be human again. Sonia carries no theories. She simply loves, suffers, and believes. And in the end, it is her quiet faith, not his brilliant mind, that saves him. That is the heart of the book. Salvation does not come from standing above others. It comes from kneeling down beside them. Crime and punishment endures because it refuses easy answers. It sits with guilt. It sits with pain. It insists that suffering can mean something. It is long, it is heavy, it is uncomfortable. But it is uncomfortable about the exact things we most need to face. You do not have to be a murderer to recognize Raskolnikov. His pride, his loneliness, his desperate wish to be more than ordinary live in all of us. And so the book waits on the shelf, no longer a challenge, but an invitation to look inward, to face the judge within. Now you know the story, the crime, the collapse, and the long road back. But knowing the map is not the same as walking the road. Somewhere in those pages, in Dostoevsky's own words, there is a power no summary can capture. The trembling, the silence, the slow return to light. Maybe now the book on the shelf looks a little different. A little less like a wall, and a little more like an open door. Because the greatest stories were never meant to be survived. They were meant to be entered, felt, and carried with us long after the final page. Thank you for walking these dark streets with us. Explore, discover, and always go deeper.